So we've entered Saqqara. Now Saqqara is this huge necropolis. It's like we're in a Netflix documentary, you guys.
Saqqara is the most important archaeological site in Egypt.
Saqqara is one of the most archaeological active digs in the Nile Bank. With a history dating back around 2000 BCE, she was a burial ground for pharaohs and officials alike. We have the world's oldest pyramid. Today, it's not only home to many archaeologists and Netflix documentaries, but also the first pyramid for Pharaoh Djoser. It's way bigger than it looked when we were walking up. That's what she said. And today, we're going to explore the secrets of the past. So walk down the burial chambers and see the first of many hieroglyphics that we'll be studying during our time in Egypt. Let's explore! Known as a step pyramid, Egypt's oldest standing pyramid was built for Pharaoh Djoser. And you can see it's just steps. Boom, 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 boom. Now imagine building that without modern engineering. Must have had a lot of really strong men to go and lift everything up there. So the ancient Egyptians believed that there was a life after death. So they built all of these pyramids to be closer to Ra, the god of the sun. Oh. This is the original entrance to the entire pyramid complex. Inside sits thousands of years of treasures that we're going to explore. Guys, we're touching where the pharaohs touched. Ooh. Look at this. Wow. This is incredible. Boop, 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 boop. Look at this. There's 20 boop, 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 on this side, 20 on this side. And the reason they're boop, 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 is because it's in the shape of a lotus flower. Now the lotus flower was pretty epic deal around here. The lotus flower's daily cycle of closing at night and reopening with the sunrise made it a powerful emblem of rebirth and renewal. Ancient Egyptians believed that the lotus was tied to creation itself, emerging from the primordial waters to reveal the sun god Ra. Woo! Check this field. We're out in field of dreams for some, field of dirt for others. So whenever the pharaohs were ruling, they could rule for 30 years. That was their term. But after 30 years, they still had to prove that they had the ability to rule. So what happened is they pulled in a buffalo. Boom, 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 boom. They fought the buffalo. And if the current reigning king would win, he would be king for another 30 years. That's why they're jacked. They had to fight a buffalo if they wanted to be ruler. Maybe some of today's leaders should think about working out a little bit more. Now the video is not capturing how big this is. So in this whole area that we're in, this is where the Egyptians learned how to build pyramids. Now they didn't always work, because we look at the stuff that's in Giza, that's amazing, but some of these things didn't turn out so well. In fact, some of them failed. And I'm going to show you one right now. So that's what happens whenever you don't measure twice and cut once. You built a crooked pyramid that falls over. But that's okay, because then he built one right next to it. So this whole thing was trial and error. How could they build the perfect connection to connect in the afterlife to God? Woo! Check this out. You can see ancient history, you guys. So all of the slippery stone was where the pyramid was covered in casing. Like all of these rocks were handmade and hand carved. And then this boop, 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 would cover it all. But probably whenever this guy was covered, the sand, it took a bunch of it off, but we're still able to see some of this really cool casing on here. Climbing monuments is a crime, so don't do it. So all of you other YouTubers who are climbing monuments, stop. You give us a bad name. Okay, now imagine if you're a baddie and you're like, yo, I want to go rob this dead person's gold. Well, the dead person was smart. So what he did was created false entrances. This is one of them. So there would have been 3 false entrances for every pyramid. And of course, one real one. So you would walk down these stairs as a baddie, boop, 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 and enter that door and find nothing. And maybe you would feel bad about what you did.
Hidden in this beautiful original casing, archaeologists found the oldest life-size statue of Pharaoh Djoser with original eye holes. These eye holes allowed Djoser to connect with the spirit world after his death and still participate in prayers and sacrifices. And of course, stare at the stars, which the ancient Egyptians thought were passed on kings. This secured his eternal immortality.
Even in afterlife, he built himself binoculars.
No visit to Saqqara is complete without seeing some of the underground burial treasures.
Walk like a little chipmunk. Boonka, 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 boonka. Wow. Boonka, boonka, boonka. So not one of the 3 fake entrances, but one of these. And in between each squatting thing, we have this standing area. Squatty, squatty, squatty. This is crazy. It's built thousands of years ago. And in front of me, I see amazing things. Look at all of these stories. Wow. Now, the Egyptians were the first to develop written language like this. And this is how they would send their people off into the afterlife. So maybe this was a story of, ooh, there's darkness in here.
The hieroglyphics carved on these tombs told stories of the deceased's life, offerings they made to the gods, and all sorts of other stuff they wanted to be sent off to the afterlife with.
And now we're in this really cool cavern. Turn the light on. Maybe this is where all of like the creams and stuff were stored. So all of the pharaohs, all of the people buried in these were buried with all sorts of creams and ointments to take care of them in the afterworld. Or maybe with some gold and some treasure. It's just pretty incredible. Let's go see where everybody else is. Oh, more words. Bird, 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 bird. And whoa, we can still see the painting. This is where a homeboy would have chilled out as the afterlife came to pick him up. Pharaoh touchy. That's really soft. Wow. Look at this. How beautiful it is. That's, wow. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit so you guys can see this. See how big this is? It's just big enough to go through this door. That's some crazy engineering. Okay. Let's go see what other really cool things. Look at that. They're just so cool, you guys. Lady legs, a snail, a wheel, ooh, a rabbit. Breakfast. We have a traffic jam. Okay, check this out. This is how we know who was buried here. There's like a little nameplate.
Now, these tombs were built for nobles and other members of the high court. And these are some of the gems that archaeologists are finding today. Let's go see one.
So if you guys watch any of the Netflix series where they're looking for tombs like very next to someone else who was buried, this is why, because when they're uncovered, this is what it looks like. Saqqara was a place where they were testing how to build this at scale. And they nailed it up here. So let's go take a look inside one of these.
While not as popular as some of the other rulers, Princess Idot was the beloved only daughter of a pharaoh. Her tomb is one of the best preserved and gives us insight into the traditions and lore of ancient Egyptians.
This is the false door.
The false door was a spiritual portal designed to allow the deceased soul to pass between the world of the living and the afterlife, receiving offerings and prayers left by the living.
Everything that you guys see here still in color is original, thousands of years old. So we are in the tomb of Princess Idot, and she loved nature and the sea. Look at all the baby animals. Oh, he's eating the animals. Okay, this is cool. So this tells everyday life. So we have two guys who are tax counters, and this is cartouche's iconography, and these are the people who didn't pay. Pay your taxes, guys. We'll take you away. The attention to detail in their artwork is great. Look at this. So we have two men fighting just randomly. And then we have mommy here giving birth to a baby, and someone's trying to eat your crocodile. And the boys aren't helping. Maybe the boys should stop fighting. And with that, I think it's time we should go find a different adventure. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you wherever this camel takes me next.
Bye-bye, see you tomorrow.
Ciao.